Good morning, everyone. I'm Satya. I welcome you all to this AWS associate level training. We are on day 12. One of the most crucial AWS cloud computing topics will be covered today. And the agenda for today's class is displayed on your screen. The first topic for today is virtual private server. So what is all about a virtual private server? It uses virtualization technology to divide a single physical server into multiple virtual compartments, each of which can function independently. Such VPS services include the EC2 instances that we create and the well-known domain register GoDaddy.com. They are some of the best examples of VPS. So a VPS hosting simulates the experience of a dedicated server, even though you still share the physical server with other users. So VPS technology is normally used for various functions, including web hosting, e-commerce sites, hosting software applications such as the portals, extranet, CRM, and also running multiple websites with dedicated cPanel. So this is something that all of us have gone through when utilizing and creating EC2 services, right? We have created a couple of EC2 lab exercises, and we have gone through most of these things, what we are discussing. Let's analyze a VPS operation in more detail. So VPS comes with a combination of shared hosting plus independent environment plus super user level access to dedicated computing resources, to name few. So all these features we have experienced when we have created our EC2 instances, correct? So the performance of each virtual machine in a VPS is independent of the others because each virtual machine is given independent server resources such as the CPUs, RAM, hard disk drives, network bandwidth, as well as dedicated IP addresses with administrator or root access to manage these virtual machines. So each virtual component functions as a private standalone server and is equipped with the capacity to run a separate virtual instance of an operating system. So now that we know what a VPS, virtual private server, is, how it works, and how to host a virtual private server as well, let's investigate further with a live example. I have a domain name registered with GoDaddy.com and also purchased a shared web hosting space, just like an EC2 instance. I own a similar kind of EC2 instance environment in GoDaddy.com. That comes with unlimited storage space and unlimited email addresses. So same time, many users will host their websites on the same physical server where my virtual machine is running with GoDaddy. So, but same time, all of us, we have total privacy. So let's take a look at the services I get as a customer and the degree of access control I have. Okay, let me take you to the cPanel. So this is the cPanel access, what I have with GoDaddy. I'll log in with my credentials. So this is the home screen. You can consider this like an EC2 instance. This is like you have logged into your EC2 instance virtual machine, and there are so many applications that are installed, and you can go with that. You can make use of it. Let me explain how exactly this concept works. So here I have a pictorial presentation. this cloud image, what you see is the physical data center of GoDaddy. All right. So within this data center, they have numerous independent physical servers that are hosted. Now we can see there is one physical server which has got so many virtual machines that are running, correct? Here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that. Similarly, there will be multiple virtual machines that will be physical servers that will be running parallelly. Let me depict this way. This is like server 2, server 3, physical server 3, server 4, and it goes on. Each server has got numerous virtual machines. In my case, I may be positioned here. Okay, I have given a space. This entire VM3 belongs to me, where my website has been hosted. Let me take you back to the cPanel. Okay, so here you can see one such feature option. What I have is the email accounts. So here I can create as many emails as I want. Please be noted, this is an unlimited space package, what I got. So I have created few email addresses for myself. Okay, and let me create one more for testing purpose. I gave the email address as testmail@atmanirbhar.in. Password, I will make it very simple. Though it is not the strong password, that's fine. This is only for testing purpose. So let me take you back to the cPanel. This is one feature where we have created email address. Similarly, I have file manager. Okay, let me take you back. Here it is, the file manager. I launched the file manager. What do I see here? Just like in Windows environment, when we have hosted our IIS web server, do you remember we went into the www root folder wherein we have created our own web page? Similarly, it is the same folder here under home. Okay, so this is my virtual machine in GoDaddy. So there I have a root account. Beneath that, I have home folder. Beneath that, I have my particular account. Here you can see there are so many websites I have already launched. This is one, atmanirbhar.com. This is one, and atmanirbhar.in is another one. And here I have one more, mishatechnologies.com. Likewise, I can create as many websites as I want, and I can even sell it, or I can use it for myself. And literally there is no limit, space limit. Let's see each of these websites space, how much space it is occupying. We have so many options, so many features to go with. You can see under disk usage. So my entire web page is hardly utilizing 3.36 MB. Okay, and the same replica of the website is one more copy. So the users can type either .com or .in. So both the cases, they will reach the same place. Let me open the web page. The site is still under construction. So now we can see by putting all these pictures, the content, everything, this is a single page web page. So everything comes to hardly 3 Mbps. Correct? Likewise, you can have a static website or a dynamic website that you can create. So this is how exactly our EC2 instance also behaves. So let me take you back to the pictorial presentation which I was showing. So here you can see this is one VM that I got. Likewise, there are so many VMs side by side along with me, right? So all these customers, they're all sharing the same one physical server. At the same time, all of us, we are completely isolated. What does that mean, completely isolated? So whatever the files, my important documents of the database, whatever I have it in my virtual machine, cannot be seen or cannot be accessed by other users, though they are in the same physical server. So how are we all got isolated? There is one concept called virtual private cloud, VPC. We will discuss further. All right. So let me remove this. Let's go back to our class. So here we were looking at the cPanel of GoDaddy.com, where I have unlimited space to host the web pages, websites, as well as I can use the server for like an email server. I can use it for anything and everything. This is how a virtual private server works. Though we have worked on so many EC2 instance lab exercises, we did not go in detail, in depth to understand the potentiality of a virtual private server. So virtual private server is referred to the EC2 instances what we create. So these virtual private servers are completely isolated between other servers, though they have been hosted on the same physical server. So with this, we'll be completing the topic of VPS. There are other similar kind of topics. Let us try to have the comparison and try to understand in detail about the other types of virtualization that we can create. The next one is VPC, Virtual Private Cloud. So Virtual Private Cloud is a private cloud computing environment hosted within a public cloud. So the main distinction between a VPC and a VPS, that is virtual private cloud and virtual private server, is that a VPC uses a defined section of a host with a fixed resources, whereas a VPC, that is a virtual private server, is not constrained to a single or fixed resources or server that can be manage a huge number of virtual machines. Let me take you back to the pictorial presentation. Now we all know what is a virtual private server, right? So these individual VMs, what are there, are all virtual private server. Now, what is a VPC? That is a virtual private cloud. Let us say VM5 and VM2 both belongs to me. Okay, but these two virtual machines are hosted on the same physical server. I need to have connection between VM5 and VM2. So here what I will do, between VM5 and VM2, I will make a bridge. Okay, this will be a complete dedicated bridge, and this bridge will club the VM5 and VM2 environment. That is what a virtual private cloud is all about. So this particular topic, virtual private cloud, we used to touch upon on daily basis whenever we have created a EC2 instance, but we did not go in detail, in depth to analyze what exactly a VPC is, where we used to see this VPC is. Today in our class, we'll have a lab exercise. We'll touch upon all these minute topics. So how does a VPC work? You may create a virtual network within the AWS cloud using VPC. That is what it is. Here, first, to begin with, you have a virtual private server. Using this virtual private server, you will create an additional layer on the top of it. That is what the virtual private cloud. And that too without needing any hardware. We will be creating a virtual private cloud. This is completely software based. So each VPC creates an isolated virtual network environment in the AWS cloud. So here what happens in the pictorial presentation, this VM5 and VM2 becomes one entity, and still they are completely isolated from VM6, VM4, VM3, and VM1, though all of them are on the same physical server. So we can create a VPC peering a connection between two VPCs as well. That enables us to route traffic between two virtual private clouds privately. So instances in either VPC can communicate each other as if they are within the same network. What does that mean? Now let us say this is physical server 1, what we have. Here we have physical server number 2, physical server number 3. So here VM5 and VM2, let me remove all of them. Okay, so this is physical server 2, this is physical server 3. Here in the physical server 1, VM2 and VM5, we have clubbed, we made it one VPC. Maybe here in the physical server 2, we want to bring in this as well under same environment. Maybe here we want to have 3 servers. Okay, you can think all these virtual machines are hosted on different servers that has got different subnet mask, a different IP address range, whereas all these totally 6 virtual machines are clubbed together. They are one single entity. I'm so sorry. They are one single entity. All these 6 virtual machines can share the data. Let us say in VM4, we have hosted a database, SQL database. This SQL database can be accessed by the physical layer server where 3 virtual machines are there, VM3, 4, 5, and similarly physical server 1, in that we have 2 virtual machines, VM2 and VM5. So all of them can access the SQL database, which is here in VM4. Likewise, we can make it as one single entity and make it completely secured. So this is all about a virtual private cloud. We will create a virtual private cloud lab exercise. In that, we will have so many components that works hand in hand together to provide this feature. We will explore that in a couple of minutes. The next another topic is VPN, virtual private network. So with this, we have 3 topics, that is VPS, virtual private server, VPC, virtual private cloud, and the third entity is virtual private network. So what is all about a virtual private network? It enables access to private networks like corporate networks through public internet. So commercial VPNs route traffic to remote users after securing it via an encrypted channel. So the user's location, IP address, and other online behavior are concealed, keeping them safe and secured. So people who have worked with corporate companies, they might have come across this. When you're working from home or when you're working off your workplace, you'll be connecting to the VPN network, and then you will be able to connect to your office server, office network, correct? So that is what the VPN is. So VPN will bridge up connectivity between your local computer, that is your laptop or desktop, which is there in the public domain, that is connected directly to the internet. From that place, from that, it will bridge a tunnel between your laptop and the corporate computer. So nobody else will be able to peep into, nobody will be able to look into the activities, the transaction that is happening between your laptop and the corporate computer where you have connected. We can see the similar kind of work environment even when you connect to your banking websites. So the moment you connect to your banking website, it'll ask for the username and password, then it'll send you a OTP, one-time password. Once you enter that OTP, there is a bridge connectivity between your laptop and the banking website where you have connected. You might have also noticed, let us say you are in a particular web page accessing maybe your transactions, accounting transaction in the banking website. If you click a back button, immediately the connection gets disconnected. Correct? You cannot click on back button and once again you can come back to the page where you were. Instantly, spontaneously, the connection will be terminated. That means you went out of the tunnel, the secured bridge that was established between your handheld device, maybe your phone or your laptop, to the banking server. That is how a VPN works. A virtual peer-to-peer connection is created utilizing a VPN by combining dedicated connections and encryption techniques. So the VPN server and the encryption tunnel work together to prevent your ISP, that is Internet Service Provider, government organizations, hackers, and anybody else from watching how you use the internet and even spin off any kind of data that is getting exchanged. It is near impossible. So these hackers or snoopers are famously referred to as man-in-the-middle attacks. That means they can hook on to the connectivity, the bridge established between your system and the targeted server. They can try to hook on to that bridge and steal the data which is getting exchanged if there is no VPN connectivity. Without VPN connectivity also, you can get connected. Now, the class what we are conducting, the Zoom class, it is completely a VPN based. How? I have provided you the username and password, the credentials to log in. Without that, you will not be able to connect. Now, if there are 10 or 12 participants in the class, all of us, we are combined together. We have a virtual private cloud. We are in a group. Correct? Though we are from different walks of life or from different parts of the world, we all club together and we are in one classroom and only we people can exchange the information. Correct? So this is how a VPN works. So people who travel frequently and frequently use Wi-Fi in cafes, airports, hotels, lodges, etc., should be using a VPN in particular to safeguard their transaction. So meanwhile, let's check with one of the participants to whom I sent a test email. Gentlemen, could you please check your email? Did you receive the email? And if so, could you please reply back to that email? Let's see.
Yeah, I have received and I replied as well.
Oh, that's good. Okay, that's good. See, here we have created a test email and sent a test email to test email. Email address itself is the test mail what we have provided. We have created a new email address, sent a test mail to this address, as well as received the reply. So this indicates that the email address what we have created, it is functioning all right. I hope you got to know how exactly a virtual private server works. In this virtual private server, The email hosting has been provided, service has been provided. Apart from that, a web space service has been provided. The customer can use it. In my case, since I have unlimited storage facility, I can create as many emails as I want, and I can even sell it, just like Gmail. Okay, Gmail, it's a free service. I can provide my email service as a chargeable service. Similarly, I can host any number of websites. Those websites also I can resell it. If a customer says, I have a domain name registered, I want you to build a website. Yes, I will host the website on my account. So this cPanel, what we are talking about, under this cPanel, I will have all my clients' details. Okay, it is like a file explorer or a file manager. So beneath that, I have so many folders, each folder dedicated to a particular customer. I will keep all the records details of that particular customer. So this is how a virtual private server works. So now I hope you got to know the difference between a virtual private server. So virtual private server is what we are seeing here, the VM1, okay, VM2, VM3, they are virtual private servers. VPC, virtual private cloud, is you will be clubbing one or two virtual machines, you will be combining them, making them one single entity. That is virtual private cloud. What is virtual private network? To connect to this virtual machine, let us say this is an corporate server. From this server to here, to connect, you will create a virtual private network. That virtual private network sits here. Okay, so this will safeguard the connection. If you need to connect from any of these machines to VM4, first you will have to connect to this server. From this server, you will have to connect here. This is also called as Bastion host. Remember, we have done a lab exercise Bastion host. Today, we will replicate the same Bastion host using our own private VPC, that is virtual private cloud. We will create our own virtual private cloud. We will establish all these things. We will perform these lab exercises to understand the concept much better. All right. So with this, we have reached at the end of the theoretical class of VPS, VPC, and VPN. Let us explore these features, options through our lab exercise.